Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we've got some dramatic Crusader Kings music going, and there's actually a good reason for that. Specifically, you may notice things are slightly different from when we last left off, and apparently that's because I forgot to save. So, I'm just a moron. I went through the last episode, tried to get everything as close as I could to the way it was at the end of last episode. Things might still be a little bit different, and I was planning to tick forward a little bit further here, mostly because our population isn't exactly the same. But instead, we got a strong thunderstorm in the area. I kind of wanted to record the strong thunderstorm, so I immediately left it paused when it auto-paused when that ticked in, and this is going to be interesting. Now, I think the zoning is going to be a little bit different. There are some things that I think I have not zoned that I did previously, but we'll get to that. I redid the water, and I think this is a little different too. In fact, I forgot to do this. But I did want to have these, like, arteries coming out over this way, just in case we have breakage in the pipes later on. We can have multiple paths to flow through. So I've done it this way. It's kind of a spider web pattern. It's very similar to what it was previously, for sure. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now, of course, as I said in the last episode, I still don't know what your answer is on these rocks. So we're just going to avoid building those for now. Let's go ahead and tick forward.
A thunderstorm is battering the city. Stay indoors until the storm has passed.
Indeed. This may start some fires, which should be okay. We have fire coverage. Decent fire coverage at that. It'll get slightly better out here too, so that'll be okay. I did remember to put the high school in, and that is fantastic. And we're just slowly... Actually, we're making a lot of cash now. Oh, parks, right. That's one thing I forgot to put in here. I definitely did forget to put in a park. We should do that. Which one did I put in? Was it like this one? Yeah, I think it was this one. Okay, we'll put that in at the same place. Fantastic. Everything else, I think, is in place. So, let's just let that go, and we'll just get battered by this thunderstorm. Ah, it took out our power line. Okay. We can definitely replace our power line. That's not a big deal. There we go. We'll get that power back in. No blackout for you guys. Wonderful. And looks like there were some lightning strikes in the city itself, and we are currently working on putting those out. Should be absolutely fine. Are you stuck in traffic? Uh-huh. Can you just go? Thanks. I'd like it if you put out the fires. We may have to address this intersection. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe we make this be like in here. Maybe we... Can we restrict that to be emergency vehicles only? That would be an interesting thing to do. Although we do have a school in here, so schools aren't exactly emergency vehicles now that I think about it. And parks. Parks aren't exactly emergency vehicles either. Like people trying to visit a park, they won't be driving an emergency vehicle. So maybe that's not the best of ideas. There's still some fires going on. This is not shocking. It looks like it is well under control, with the possible exception of this over here. We've got fire trucks on the way. Fantastic. We're looking for workers. Okay. And, oh, our power line went out up here, which is going to cause us water issues. This is quite a thunderstorm. And, of course, this thunderstorm didn't occur previously. Okay. There we go. Oh, we've got this issue as well. Okay. It just keeps hitting our power lines. There we go. Seems like it's dying down, though. So that's good. That is very, very good. Now, I do kind of want to expand our commercial section here. So, do we want to do it there or up here? I kind of feel like doing it down here. Well, actually, no. I changed my mind. I actually changed my mind. We're going to D-zone that, and we're going to put it in up here. Reason being, it is actually slightly more efficient to do it up here so that we're not paying upkeep on this power line here. We can take this power line out and zone this in, and this up here as well. This is going to cause us a water issue temporarily. Okay. We're going to wait for a moment until we start seeing some construction happening over here. There we go. Actually, you know what? We don't even need this power line, and we don't need to wait for this. What we can do is we can just not do that. We can just build a power line like that. No problem. We can back this off as well. Put it on this side of the road. That'll give us a little bit of extra industrial area there. Fantastic. This fire up here is spooky. We don't really have tools to deal with it either. Like, we don't have anything for a fire helicopter depot, so we just have to hope that the rain puts it out and just continually fight the fires up here. Okay. Do we have... Yeah, there's another fire over here. And we've got a power outage rolling over here, and I'm wondering why. We shouldn't. Okay. We could put in another wind turbine. I'm going to hold off on that for the moment. This is going to continue to be an issue for a while. And we'll just have to figure out how we want to deal with this. I mean, there's not much that we have for tools right now, right? Like, we don't have any way to go out there and fight this fire. We just have to hope it goes out on its own. Yeah, that's definitely going to be exciting. Keep our fire crews busy for a while. In the meantime, we have finally reached our 1700 that we peaked out at last time. So that's fantastic. And overall, I would like to potentially begin work on another hub over this way. And like I said, I think this hub will, like, conjoin with this one. We'll have this one take priority, but this hub will, like, flow into it. I think that'll be a pretty cool looking thing. And again, I don't want it to be in line with this road. I want it to be its own thing. So we could have it be like something out here. We'd want to have it be at a particular angle, right? So the angle doesn't even have to match this, though. It doesn't have to match it at all. We could, in theory, have it go any angle we wanted, just because of the way that this is set up. It'd be completely fine. So we would just bring this out to be, you know, literally whatever we want. Something like this. Yeah, there's a forest fire over here. No, there's not much we can do about it. It's just gonna burn. That is the natural order of things. So we bring this out like this. And then, of course, we put in our first circle over here. Like so. Completely detached from this. No connection whatsoever right now. There will be a connection, but for now there's no connection whatsoever, and it is at a different angle. There's not going to be any line up here, and this is how I want it. Is that rock on fire? No, the rock is not on fire. Okay. Well, the fire's just going to rampage. That's all there is to it. It looks like we do need a small amount of electricity gain. Can we get an 8 megawatt? Yes, we can just get an 8 megawatt solar, or not solar, wind turbine up there. Now, these wind turbines are not tremendously efficient, but they'll get the job done for now at a relatively cheap price. So that is fantastic. And as far as this goes over here, of course, we need to figure out, these come in like parallel to it. So it would have to be like here and here. This is going to be really interesting to try to make, actually. So if we were to put like a temporary road out here, and then put another road in here parallel to that, and then another one in... Actually, they need to be in a little closer, don't they? They need to be in like one closer than this. So it would be here, and then that center. This is where the outside road goes. which would mean this one would have to be displaced to be here. Right? That doesn't look centered to me. That very doesn't look centered to me. But it has to be, doesn't it? No, it does not. This is a little bit off. Okay. This angle is definitely going to make things interesting. And let's try redoing this real quick. Yeah, this is going to waste a little money, but it's not like we're having financial issues right now. So I think that this would be, and we need to decide which is going in and out. With this being a completely different setup, it's very hard to say which is going to be which. So this would go here, like previously. This would come in straight line like this, in theory. But I'm not going to have it connect. I'm going to put it here. And then that allows us to then place this road, which would go in not here, but rather here. And then we remove this one to move it over. That's a fiddly process. There's no doubt about that. But then that connects in like that and that. And that is centered. Okay. Fantastic. These, of course, need to be one way, and it kind of doesn't matter which way is which right now. Of course, this up here is temporary, right? That is very, very temporary. We need to do the same thing over here, although I think we can probably just line it up with this road relatively easily. Ah, but we've got the angle issue. Right. Okay, so we'll just do this for now. Oh, hello. This, fun fact, the Faster Than Light that's playing right now, the vocal version, this is my alarm clock every morning. Exciting. Okay, we'll just bring this in like as short as possible right next to it. And that is an angle and snapping marker for us. Okay, so this is obviously displaced by 1 right now. So we take this out and we make sure that there's a gap of 3 between them, like that. Then we remove this one and we put this in like that. And that is our marker for the road. Okay. Same thing on these. We make sure there's a gap of 3. Like that. And then we move these 2 in. That is definitely a fiddly process. But now that it's started, it's not too bad. Now that it started, we can just very easily connect this in. So this one connects in here, obviously. And this one connects in here. We're going to have to do the actual connections here or rather the actual directions here in a moment. That's okay. We're going to then get rid of these non-one-way sections. And then this one is northbound, this one is southbound. And I think we'll just rotate it clockwise. Wait, are they rotated clockwise over here? Let's see here. Yes, they're rotated clockwise. So that is perfect. So we'll then have this be northbound, this be southbound, and then if we rotate it clockwise, this would be eastbound, this would be westbound. If this is north. Which it isn't exactly. And I want this to be misaligned. I do want this to be misaligned. Okay. So at this point, we now need to make sure that these are the correct length. And the way I'm going to do that is by taking these guys, out over this way. And let's see here. That's the correct length. This one is not. I believe the correct length would be, that's 440 there. Right. I should have done them slightly differently then. That's the correct length. Okay. I mean, it's easy enough to fix, right? We can just do that and then change the bounding of the traffic. So that's fine. And we have to come from the outside in here for snapping purposes. Like that. And then get rid of this one. And then we have to come from the outside in here as well. Snap that in there. And boom. Fantastic. Next, these need to be made the correct length. And so we shall. So that would be not there, technically. It would be, I believe, here. Yes, that is correct. This needs to be flipped around. Wonderful. And then this comes from the outside in, like that, and this is the correct direction. Okay. So at this point, I'm actually going to get rid of this, because it is actually, like, directly unhelpful to have that there. So we bring this straight out at a 90-degree angle and bring it in to curve like that. I'm slightly concerned about this distance. 90-degree angle, and that's interesting. Is this incorrect, this distance? Hang on. This is 480. Ah, okay. So we do actually need these to be slightly longer. This first one here is 480. And I don't know why. Probably to compensate for this distance. These out here, that one's 440, and then they're 400 each. That is definitely something that I did not do necessarily on purpose. But that's just going to make this gap worse, isn't it? In theory. Oh, garbage is piling up. Yeah, that was a problem at the end of last episode. We needed a landfill or an additional recycling center. One or the other. And I'm just going to put in an additional recycling center, and we'll put that in up here. Fantastic. So there's that underway, and we have a pretty big demand for residential. We're working on it. This is probably going to be mostly a residential hub. But I'm definitely... You know, I don't think that I actually care about that, because we need this in here. I think we'll just leave it at 400 each. It's just easier that way. It's just easier. And then this would curve in... Oh, we don't have the cash for it. This would curve in up here like this. But yeah, there's this little flat portion here. And that is... I mean, it doesn't look bad when the whole thing is built up. But right now, it's making things a little complicated. And it's not really complicated later, either. We're just waiting on a little bit of cash here, and it should be fine. This is the exact point we want it to be, and we'll put it in like that. This, of course, in here is not a one-way, and we should have it be one. This is going anti-clockwise on the inner circle, and we'll have it do the same thing here. Fantastic. No, other way. Thank you very much. Not you. Not you. We'll fix you in a moment. Okay. There we go. Excellent. There's something about this that I don't like. I feel like it doesn't flow quite as smooth as I wanted it to. I'm going to take this one out of here. Let's try that again. Comes directly out to this point. I think I had it out going one block too far because of the size difference here. Yeah, this is much better. This is so much better. I like it. So we'll take that out to there. Yeah, that can be 440. It's okay. That is completely fine. We've got a big residential demand right now, and we might want to think about doing something about that. Maybe? Before we start, or rather continue, working on this secondary hub. I mean, we could do something about it, right? We could put out, like, some temporary roadage up here. We could expand this area to be residential, at least temporarily, or, like, half of it. Those are all options. We could have this area out here be temporary residential. Like... to, say, here. And I'm actually going to do that. This is a little awkward to have be residential, but this is a lot of wasted space right now. That does, of course, mean that we need to run water over this way. And that's going to be a little expensive, but not too bad, actually. So we'll go ahead and do that. This is all temporary up here, and this housing will be relocated. But we desperately need some housing location right now. And our second hub is nowhere near coming online. So it's going to take us some time on that one. We're just waiting on this cash to come in here. We'll have it in a moment. There we go. We lacking educated workers? We are. I mean, our high school's pumping them out, so it should be good. I'm a little concerned about overflow with our elementary school. We may need a second elementary school in this hub. We'll have to see. What's this? Oh yeah, fires. I mean, we knew that there was going to be fires. But there are also responders for it, so it's completely fine. Power over here. Right. That would be a thing that we want. There we go. That should solve that little issue. Excellent. And then we're going to come down here and continue work on our second hub. Of course, we're going to just bring this in over to... That's interesting. That's very interesting. What is this length? Oh, this length isn't right. Okay, I'm dumb. Well, we already knew that. It should be here. I was tipped off there, in case you were wondering about this length being wrong. I was tipped off there for one very particular reason. And that reason is because when I did this, we didn't have a crossover point, like we have right here, between this road's straight line and this road's 90-degree angle line. There was no crossover point there, which told me that there was something wrong there. So we have rocks over here, and I am going to go through this rock. It's only a single rock. And we will know after this episode what you guys think of that. So we'll be able to tackle some of these issues, hopefully, in the next episode. That would be wonderful. So we'll go ahead and build that in, and then we will build up this road, of course. A little low on the cash right now, but the cash is rolling in pretty quickly. Excellent. So we are well underway down here. How do these streetlights have power? That's my question right now. How is this a thing? There's no power here. None whatsoever. Whatever. Whatever. So I'm very concerned about our elementary school, for sure. I think that we need more elementary schools. Or, well, one more elementary school anyway. I'm also going to zone a little bit more commercial over here. We've got a pretty good commercial demand. We do have quite a ways before we get the dense populations. That's 8,000, right? For the dense zoning? No, it was 6,000, I believe. Yeah, high density. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be aiming for right now. We are about a third of the way there, and that's not too bad. So the question is, when are we going to connect this hub in and start being able to use it? Like I said, it's going to overlap with this hub, so that largely depends on how we are going to deal with these rocks here. And yes, I do realize by the time you've seen this, I have already heard your opinion on this, but I have not heard it as of the time of recording this, because time travel is weird. Very, very weird. So after this episode, we will know what the answer on this is, but as of recording this, you haven't yet seen, I believe it's episode 3 of this series, so that's going to be exciting. But once we know that, then we can finish off this hub, which will give us a lot of freedom with our development here, and we can start really working in on our secondary hub over here. And then, in terms of another hub, we might try to put one in down here. It'd be a pretty small one, and maybe another hub over here. And again, these are all just going to kind of overlap. The main constraint here is we're not allowed to adjust those coastlines. Okay, so we can now get ourselves another new area. That's fine. And we have access to highways now, heat pipes, cemeteries, which is always exciting. Advanced wind turbines, which are good. Geothermal heating plants, that's great. If we needed heating. Which we don't. Wave power plants. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so that's all new stuff that is available, and we should definitely remember to put down at least a cemetery. And I'm going to put that in, say... I kind of hate this position. Like, I objectively hate that position. I objectively hate that position, too, to be fair. I mean, I guess we'll put it in over here, but it's not great. It's very not great. And otherwise, we have ourselves a few more options with power generation, so that is fantastic. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to finally know how we're going to handle these situations here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.